Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this special third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at this teeny tiny little guy here. This is Doctor Wu's Shi Fu figure, which I'm sure you can tell is a take on an Alpha Trion figure. So we're going to do a quick comparison with him in the original owner of the mold, which was of course their take on a Scourge. For a bit of fun, we'll see just how much smaller he is than the Studio Series version and the standard mainline version of him. And of course I'll bring in a few other figures as well, just to give you an idea, as I say, of just how small these little guys are. So as I start to maneuver all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody else who's not subscribed to the channel, if they'd hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. And also to thank Shozy, because that's where I got this from, and there's a direct link in the description if anybody wants to get one for themselves. First and foremost, he does come packaged in a 2-pack with a green tank, which of course is a Treads figure, which you can see there. And because he's so vastly different to this figure, I'm going to give him his own review, so keep your eye out for that. It is just again the same use of the Warpath mold, so we'll be seeing that in more detail. There he is there. Once again, as I say, this is a Doctor Wu product, so it's not licensed by Hasbro or Takara, hence the fact that they don't use any of the correct names, or well, they use the correct likenesses, but they don't use the correct names because they're not allowed to. Right, let's move the box out of the way. He also comes with a collector's card, which again is a complete copy of the old, well, how Takara do figures now, and indeed how they used to. And also the instructions. You've probably noticed I've uploaded one of the tutorials for this. I'll do the reverse transformation for him just in case people miss it. So the instructions, there's quite a lot going on with these little figures. There really is. I mean, look at that, there's 16 stages on that, and as I say, I'm not going to be doing it in this video to keep the main length of the video down, and indeed not to spoil it for people who don't want it spoiling for it. So this is a bit of a strange one, to be honest, because it looks like in robot mode he's definitely more based on the newer Age of the Primes version of Alpha Trion, which unfortunately I do not have at this current moment in time. But his alternate mode is definitely, of course, using the Studio Series, or based on the Studio Series version of this figure. So this is the original owner of the mold. This is Scourge. Doctor Wu do the same as everybody else. Once they get a mold, they use it multiple times. So we've had sweeps, we've had Scourge, we've had Alpha Trion, and we've even got a formatting one as well, like a shattered glass version, which I'll be reviewing as well at some point. To give you an idea of scale and size with some normal figures, that is him with your deluxe brawn, which you can see. Absolutely, it's crazy just how small these are. So these are about Micromaster size, so that's the same sort of size that we had in Earthrise, and indeed that we had during during Generation 1. That's a very small, I think that might have been the one that came with what's it called, Deathsaurus. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, just to give you an idea, as I say, of his size. There's a Generation 1 Warpath. He's just absolutely tiny. Right, and let's move him out of the way. Let's see what other details are on it. There's not much details on it. It's pretty much covered up quite well, to be honest. But this is all about the alternate mode. Sorry, all about the robot mode, where you get to see, I suppose, how clever he is. So let's come right back and have a look at him in his robot mode. Okay, we're back with him in his robot mode, which I've got to confess, it's just stunning. It's so clever. And as I say, I'm pretty sure you can tell now that he is more based, I think, in the robot mode, definitely on the new Age of the Primes one. I've put his staff in his hands, which again is just crazy that he's got this, I suppose, little accessory with him. It just fits over the fist like so. There's a lovely little bit of detail in it. I'm going to say it's not flimsy, but of course be careful with it because of how small it is. It's not going to be the most sturdy, but it does just fit in and over the hands, as simple as that. With regards to the figure itself, let's take that away. The head sculpt is beautiful. It will spin all the way around completely unrestricted. It will also look up and down a little bit. The shoulders are ball and socket, so that means you can take the arms all the way out. If you move the wings stroke cape out of the way, you can get quite a lot of range of motion on this. But again, these are on ball and sockets. You can lift these up, bring these down, however you want to do it. This is on another hinge there, so you can wrap it around slightly like a bit of a shield if you wanted to. He does have a full waist rotation. His hips are on ball and sockets, so they'll kick all the way forward, all the way to the side, and again they're only slightly restricted until you maneuver them out of the way. There is a knee bend, there is and is it an ankle tilt and rock? I'm sure there's something going on here. There usually is with these figures. There's a tilt, shall we say. Yes, definitely, because that isn't for transformation. That is definitely a tilt, because obviously when he's transformed, it should be flush anyway. So the articulation on these little guys, it's just crazy for how small it is. Yeah, they still baffle me. And again, these are basically what I would say this generation's version of World's Smallest Transformers. If you're not sure what they are, there's a full playlist on this channel where Takara started this sort of trend in 2003 with mainline figures, and then they just stopped in 2004. I wish they'd do more. I really do. That is a generation 1 on the Squiff Bumblebee. I'm trying to give you an idea of size now, guys. This is a Target Master from generation 1. I'm just going to go a few generation 1 figures at first, because a lot of the people who watch this channel have generation 1 figures. That is Jinrai or Haikyuu, depending on whichever your continuity is, but you get the idea that he's only just a little bit bigger than them. I'm gonna have to start panning out in a second. There's a generation 2 Sea Spray, but it's still a mini bot size. That is a normal Blocky, which is towering above him. That is your Blocky's Galaxy Defender. This is a Hot Wheels Optimus. Let's start to pan out, shall we, just to give you an idea, as I say, how small he is. In fact, let's go to, so we're not zoomed in, let's bring this out to 1.1. There we go. And let's bring in a few other figures. So there is a deluxe class Brawn, which is a pretty small deluxe figure. Anyway, there's your Commander class Optimus Prime. You can't even see his head. It's crazy. He just doesn't fit anywhere near on screen. Let's bring in a Cyberworld Optimus Prime, again still towering completely above him. What I do need to bring in very quickly though, and as well as try not to knock everything over, is one of the Alpha Trion figures that I've got, just to again give you an idea, and I suppose just to see, and I suppose to reiterate that it is definitely based on an Alpha Trion figure. Let me just pan him up there. He doesn't even fit. It's crazy. These are quite fun figures, as I say. The only downside is, as I've already said, they are third party, so they're not official. So you won't see these on Hasbro Pulse and things like that, but you can get it, as I say, from Show Z. To be honest, guys, there isn't much more to say about it. It is just a quite wrong. It's a very clever, ingenious version, tiny version, shall we say, of an Alpha Trion figure. And as I say, they've already utilized this mold numerous times to get other figures out of it. So you guys let me know what you think of him in the comments. I think he's genius, to be fair, and keep your eye out for treads coming up very soon as well. Thanks for watching. Take care.